So, good evening, everyone. So, I request you guys to first go and take the attendance, fill the attendance form. Okay. Yeah. So, attendance is a must, otherwise, you won't get the certificate. Okay. Apart from that, there will be an assignment in today's class, which you have to give in the end of, which you have to submit in order to get the certificate as well. Okay. And today, we will cover the CSS part. Also, uh, wait till the end of the class because you may win a chance to have a MacBook Air or cash prize of 80,000 rupees. Okay, like it's your choice. So we will do that after the class. Okay, so let me know when you are done with the attendance part. Also, like in the end, we will play the game of Kahoot. Oh, in that game, you have a chance to win the prizes up to you can win a the first winner gets the DSA free DSA course. Second winner gets 3,000 rupees discount, and the third winner gets 1,500 rupees discount. Okay, so do wait till this Kahoot game because it's really good. Like they are offering so good discount and everything. Okay, okay. So let's start with CSS. What is the CSS? Okay, a stylish guide to CSS. Let's continue with this. So Kahoot, for the Kahoot game, Dinesh, for the Kahoot game, uh, we will see. Like, I won't be the one who would make you play this game. There would be someone else for this. Okay. हाँ हाँ प्रथम असाइनमेंट है इसमें है ये जूम या जूम okay let's start with CSS, which is cascading style sheet. But what is this cascading style sheet? Okay, so what is this cascading style sheet? Cascading style sheet is a style sheet language used to describe the presentation of HTML or XML. So yesterday we had an example of an house, which, if let's say if we want to create a structure of a house, uh, we use the we use HTML, which gives the structure to the house. But for the definition, or for the styling and definition, like what truly gives enhancement to that house, that is what CSS does for the HTML. Okay, so yeah, so this is the use of having an assignment. This is the use of having a, just a second, uh, share screen, entire screen. Okay. Mm, sorry, my screen was not getting shared. Now I again did it. Let me know if it's visible. So, like after this class, you will get the assignment. You don't have to worry about it. We will discuss it after the class, the assignment thing. Okay. So, what is this CSS? Boxed in a stylish guide of CSS. So, what is this CSS? CSS is a uh, gives HTML. The basically what does CSS do? It gives a visual appeal to this HTML. मतलब घर बना दिया, घर को सुंदर कौन बनाता है? जैसे पेंट, ये डेकोरेशन, ये सब सुंदर बनाता है, वैसे CSS HTML को सुंदर बनाता है. तो CSS makes your HTML looks beautiful. Okay, this is, and without CSS your website would look very dull, unattractive, because all these special effects are given through CSS. Okay, the skeleton created by HTML. Yeah, exactly. As Utpal said, it's used for designing the skeleton created by HTML. Right. Okay, so this is what CSS does to our web page. So how do we use this CSS? Okay, let's create our first CSS application. Let's say, again, if you want to create your application, what you do, uh, as I told you, create new file, and you give an extension to this, calling, uh, yeah, you give extension to this file. Just a second. Okay, so you give extension to this file. Okay, just a second. File, new window, open file. I'll create a new file only. Okay, let's call it index now, index.html. Okay, and I'll save it over here. So I created it. So now let's create our HTML first, because we need to have a skeleton of a website, right? Before we proceed. I There are no, as she said, is there any substitute of CSS? No, they are not. No, there's no substitute of CSS, but there are more types of CSS, like SCSS. Okay, so there are different ways of using CSS, but yeah, in the end, our HTML is in the end our HTML only accepts CSS for styling. Okay, so Tailwind CSS is also in a CSS, SASS, yeah, SAS. Assignment I'll share with you. Don't worry about assignment. We will come back to assignment. Okay. I am zooming in. Just a second. Okay. Is my website clear? Is my page visible now? Hmm. Okay. So let's start with creating a HTML first. So as we learned yesterday, we start by writing the HTML, which is the foundation of HTML page. Then I write head. In head, let's mention title, learn, let's learn CSS. Okay. After that, we create a body, and this body tag will have anything. Let's create a heading on this, my heading. Okay. And let's create a paragraph beneath it saying, hello world, welcome to my web page. I'll save it, and then I will open it using the Chrome. Okay. So let's say now you can see my web page is loaded by saying, by this definition, my heading, hello world, welcome to the web page. But now this website looks so boring. Like there is no fun element in this site, right? So how can we add fun element to this? So obviously by adding the CSS part, or maybe adding the decoration part in on this website, right? So that's how you create the. So that is the use of CSS. But how do we have add this CSS in our website? So there are multiple ways. Okay. So one of the ways to add CSS on your website is by using style. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll write style, and the style, I'll say I have to first write the I need to write the element on which I want to implement the style. So let's say I want to change the styling of this heading h1. So what I'll do, I'll write h1, and then I'll add curly bracket. In the curly bracket, I'll mention, let's say I want to change the color of this h1. So I'll write color, and then I'll write blue. Okay. So if I save this file, so what I did, I mentioned my tag name over here, which is h1. Okay. And I changed the color of h1 to blue. If I refresh the page, see my heading is in blue color now. Okay. So what happened over here? I basically changed the styling of the. Okay, you want me to disable the copilot? Okay, we can disable that. No issues. Just a second. Mm, GitHub Copilot Labs. Okay, let's not waste our time on this. It's okay, even if it's coming. I want my. I will still explain it slowly. Okay. So what I did over here, I changed the color of h1 using the uh, using the CSS. This is the CSS part. So whatever I'm writing in the style element, style tag, is the part of CSS. Okay. Okay. Now let's say I want to change the color of this P also. So what I'll do, I'll write comma P, and in this P, I'll write the color as red. Okay, you don't have to write a comma in this. You just wrote P, and then you can change the color of this P as well. So what happened over here? Class. Yeah. So what happened over there? I changed the color of my heading to blue, and then I changed the color of paragraph to red. But there are more properties in CSS. Okay, so let's say I have right now changed the color of this. Maybe I want to change the background color of this. So what I'll do, I'll say background color, and I'll write, let's say yellow. Okay, guys, sorry, background, not background color, background as yellow. So what will happen? See, it has changed the background color of my heading to yellow. Okay, so this is what the CSS does. Any questions in this? तो बेसिकली मैंने H1 को ब्लू कलर दिया है और बैकग्राउंड येलो कलर दे दिया है और पैराग्राफ को रेड कलर दे दिया है और ये कलर जो चेंज हुआ है मैंने स्टाइल टैग में करा है। स्टाइल टैग में करने से इसका मेरा जो बैकग्राउंड कलर है वो चेंज हो गया और फॉन्ट कलर चेंज हो गया। ठीक है। ऑल्सो इन HTML। Yeah, this is HTML. This is HTML, but I change this color using CSS in HTML. Okay, so HTML also understands CSS. So if I give it CSS, it will change the color. It will act in that way. If you want to change the letter, so there are ways to do that. If I explain it right now, it will confuse you. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so since everyone is asking what type of CSS is this is an inline CSS. This is an internal CSS. Why is this internal CSS? Because okay, what does internal mean? Internal means uh, internal means that something which is inside and external which is outside, right? So internal CSS means the CSS is in the CSS which you have done you have added is internal in this HTML, but you can even have the CSS outside this HTML. You can add the CSS outside this HTML. Okay. How can we add the CSS outside this HTML? So in order to do that, what we do, we create we need to create the CSS file. Okay. So to do that, what I'll do, I'll click on new file and I'll say since I'm doing the styling, so I'll write style.css. So, so this extension thing is important .css, which tells the file, which tells our computer what kind of file it is. So because over here I'm mentioning CSS, so it would be a dot. So it means that computer will interpret it as a CSS file. Okay. Again, I'll save it. So now I have created this style.css. Okay. But how would this file know? This index.html file would know that it has to take style from style.css. Like how would this file understand this, right? So what we do, we give the reference of this file. How can we give reference of this file? So instead of writing this style, okay, what I'll do, I'll write style. So no, I'll write link. Why link? Because I'm calling this file from an external link. Then yeah, not visible. Is it visible now? Yeah, I'll come on the background of the paragraph. Just understand what we are doing right now. We are basically linking our CSS file, which is outside this HTML, to this file. Okay, so how can we do that? So first we'll write link, which is link, this thing. Okay, and then we'll write rel equals to style sheet. It tells our HTML that we are linking the CSS file in this because it's a style sheet. So if you see CSS, it's cascading style sheet, right? So writing this rel style sheet tells our uh, tells our HTML file that it's a style sheet. Okay, and then I'll give the address of it. So how we give the address? We write href, and in this href, in this href, we will define. We'll write style.css, which is there in the same folder. So why is it coming as style.css? Or why I've written style.css over here? Because it's in the same folder of style.css, so I can link it like this. Okay. So if I refresh it, see nothing is coming because I have written nothing in my style.css. But if I paste the things, if I paste my those this CSS over here, which I used previously, and I refresh it, see my CSS is coming over here. Okay. So what is this linkage? This linkage is called the this linkage is called external CSS because I have linked this CSS externally. Okay. Uh, since you have how to change the paragraph color, so in order to change the paragraph color, I also use the background. Right background. Let's say I want to change the color to green. So if I refresh, see it's not looking the best it can, but it is still looking fine, right? Your font is coming in red and your background is in green color. Okay. Yeah. Rel means relationship. Basically, it means relationship between your HTML file to your CSS file. Okay. Okay. So this was the external CSS. So if we see, we have done the internal and external CSS. So and we did the linking of our external CSS with our HTML, right? Using the rel style sheet type text slash css and href, I wrote my css, which was the name of the file. If I would have written it instead of style, I want to write letsUpgrade.css, so I'll write letsUpgrade.css instead of style.css. Okay. Written. So if you want to change the color of written part only, then you remove the background color. So flexbox we will cover tomorrow. Today we are just covering the css part. Okay. Okay. Now let's see few properties of css. Okay. For example, now I have changed, I want, let's say I want to increase the size of this my heading. How can I do that? I'll say I will write size equals to 50, and then I write px. So what is this px? If I write size, I write font size, sorry. Font size equals to 50 px. Okay, see this? See, my size of font has increased. What is this px? Px is a short form of pixels. Okay, so what is this pixel? Pixel is like the small basically, your many pixels, they're like bunch of pixels makes your screen. So this is your pixel, right? So we give a reference that if I'm writing 50 pixels, so that means this font which I on which I have used this CSS has the size of 50 pixels. Okay, so that's it's basically, it's a generic term used to give the size of a font, or give a size in general. Like, uh, in our normal life we use centimeters to measure the length, or we use centimeter square, meter square to measure the width or height. Similarly, oh sorry, centimeter square to measure the area, right? So that is why, that is so basically those are the units to measure the area. Similarly, we have pixels in our CSS. We have pixels, rem, percentage. There are many examples to do that. Okay, so now let's say I have the font size, and maybe I want to change the font. So what I can do, I use an attribute called font family, and in this I can mention I have a list of fonts which I can use to give it to change the font of my HTML page. So for example, if I use sans serif, see, so by default our font is Times Roman. Okay, see, the font has changed. My uh, font which I used earlier has changed now. So this is what the, yeah, we can use percentage as well. It won't, but percentage is not very helpful when you are using the font size, because it's not the best way to give the font. Okay, so you can even use percentage. See, it is coming very small now. That is why. How to center the text in middle of page, I'll tell you, we will cover that. Okay, so now if we see what is the problem over here. So like, let's say now I want to use another h1 tag, and I want to write my second heading. If I refresh, see, even that is coming in blue font and yellow background. Maybe I don't want this. I don't want to have a yellow background on this or a white font. I want to have a plain normal heading text. How can I do that? So what is the problem here? If I'm giving styling to an h1 tag or a p tag, so if I reuse that element, so what will happen? My styling will those elements will also take the styling. Maybe I only want to have styling for the first h1 tag, not the other h1 tag, right? So how can we do that? So here comes the concept of id and classes. Okay, so what are these are selectors. So what are these selectors now? So let's say it's like giving a name to a person. So let's say five humans or five friends are sitting in a room. So if I want to call a person, so how will I call him? Either by, let's say I call him by its properties. Maybe he is tall, maybe he's not very tall, right? So maybe I will call him by his properties. Other way to call him is using its name. Okay, so ID and classes also serves a purpose like this. So what we do, we give an ID to an element, and then we can refer that element later. So how that works? So in order to give an ID, what we do on any element, let's say this h1 tag, I want to give it an ID. Let's say ID equals to first. I want to write first. Let's say, and then what I will do, I have given it an ID. Basically, it's like I gave it a name to it. I gave a name to it. Then what I will do, uh, Now I want to call that name in my styling file, right? How can I call that name? Since I gave an ID to it, I'll use hashtag and then my ID name, which was first over here. Okay. And in first, maybe I don't want to have all these properties on the h1 tag. Maybe I just want to give it to the first h1 tag. So what I'll do, I'll cut these and I'll paste it over here. So what has happened here? I created an L. I gave on my h1 tag. I gave it an ID, which was first. Okay, and on this first, I specified some properties. How did I call my first? I used hashtag to refer to tell this CSS that yeah, this is an ID. So wherever it finds this ID, you give this property to it. Okay. So if I refresh it, see, my first element is still coming in the same way, but my second element is not coming that way. Why is that? Because I used an ID over here. What was this ID? ID is first. Okay. And why is it not coming on the second element? Because it doesn't have that ID. So if I also give the same ID to it, see, it is also now taking the same properties of those ID. So this is what the ID does. But what if there are 500 such items, 500 items which have the same ID, right? Then what we will do? So, okay, an ID on a web page should be unique. So, what does that mean? If I want to give a unique name to a element, then we will have the ID. Then we will use the ID over there. Okay, just a second. Yeah, then we will use the ID. But let's say I want to use the same properties every in multiple things. Let's say over here I used some properties. I also want to use the properties over here. So what I'll do, if I have multiple IDs, if I want to give multiple elements the same styling, what we use classes then. So let's say I'll give class mm, red color. Red color. I'll call it red color, black background, small form BG. Okay. So I created my customs class, red color black background. What I'll do, so like earlier, to we use hashtag to give a value to this ID. Now we will use dot represents the class. Okay. And then I give my class name, which is red color and black background. What I'll do, I'll write color as red, background as black. And I gave this property, this class, to this p tag. If I refresh it, see, it is taking now black color as a background and red as font. Now I want this same property. I want my h1 also looks the same way like this, like the above p tag. How can I do that? I'll just copy paste the same class to this red color, black background. If I refresh, it is also sounds exhibiting the same properties. So this is what the ID class do. Padding we will discuss. Okay, Praful. This is what the styling and sorry, this is what the ID and classes are. ID should always be unique. Like if you have used once, you cannot use it multiple times. The same ID. You can have some other ID. Let's say first. Oh, ID equals to, but you cannot use same ID name again. Okay, so ID is always unique. But if you want to use the same properties, if you want to have the if you want to use the properties again and again, then we use the concept of class. IDs we use using hash, and classes we define using dot, which is dot class name hashtag ID name. Okay. Box model. Box model we will cover later. Okay. Mhm. Any questions, any doubts? Make one clone page. Netflix page, or see Netflix play next Netflix page or booking tickets clone, they are very big websites. Like, okay, so they take time to get developed. But if you're really interested in this, you can you can consider the Let's Upgrade web development course. So if you go on their website, which is this, what it does, they have many courses like Java and DSA, C++ and DSA. So if you are into this logical building website, if you are into logic building, they are very good courses, so that to learn logic building and understanding that. And if you are this curious about the of the web development, you can even see their full stack web development course. Over there they have not they have, I think, created 15 plus projects and clone of all those projects which you have mentioned just now, and they make you industry ready. Okay. Also, they have their own course. They are starting their own B.Tech program, which is let's see, which is this, like, this is your B.Tech program, CSE. Okay. What's the speciality about this is, so no college, not even IITs guarantee a placement, gives you a placement guarantee. But they not only give you a placement guarantee, but also they say that they are ready to pay you. They will, after after your degree, you will get a minimum package of 8 lakhs per annum. Like, they are guaranteeing it, or they will give you 8 lakhs per annum themselves. So it's like a short thing that, yeah, after 4 years of B.Tech, you will get this package. Plus, they have a pretty good campus. Like, I was seeing going through the campus, so it is pretty good. So that is also a pretty good thing. Okay. Moreover, if you are really interested, like, if you are like, yeah, chal मैं चलता हूँ, I want to go, but you want your friend to also come, and if you refer your friend to this college, they are ready to, they will give you a laptop, MacBook Air laptop, which is pretty good if you're going into a college, or 80,000 rupees. It's your call, whatever you want. Which, if you go with a laptop, it's a very good starting point, because if you are just joining a college and you're getting a laptop, you would need a laptop if you're going for a B.Tech CSE program. And I think it's a pretty good course, so you can also enroll for that. Okay. Moreover, like, there would be a Kahoot game afterwards. If you played, you can win a DSA course. You can win a DSA course. If you come second, third, then you get a heavy discount on those courses. So I think it's a pretty good deal if you consider that way. Okay, so let's continue further. Now let's come see borders and spacing and borders. So what is this spacing and borders? So whenever you have elements in your website, you want to have some spacing on it. Okay. So for example, mm, let's say I want this. I want to have more space between this speed tag on top and bottom. How can we do that? We can add margin to it. Okay. So there are two concepts right now. Three concepts right now. One is the margin, one is the padding, and one is the I had completed a post that so Python where assignment we will cover after the class. I had completed post grad. Probably I don't know, but here is your career choice. See, whatever you like, you should pursue that. I would suggest Venki. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so if I click on inspect, okay, and you see that there are multiple elements in this, which are h1, p, and h1. So if I click on an element, what happens? Okay, so if I click on an element, okay, so and if you see on the bottom, see there are four properties in it. One is the element itself, then comes padding, then comes border, and then comes margin. So what are these properties? So let's start with margin. Okay, so let's say I want to add some space uh, on this text. Okay, what I'll do, I'll add margin to it. So how will I add margin? I'll add margin, and then I need to specify four values: 0, 0, 0, 0, which are top, right, bottom, left. Wait, oh, you did not see that. I cannot, wait, I cannot change the size of, I cannot change the size of this, but I can do one thing. Wait, okay, is it visible now? Okay, so there are four things on a element. One is margin, border, padding, and the element itself. So what does it, how it works? Margin is the space between, so margin is the space between other elements and your item. So over here, what happens? My element is this, and margin is space between top, bottom, left, and right. So if I want to add space to it, how can I add? How can I do that? I'll give, just a second. I'll maybe since I want to add space on the top, I'll give, let's say, 50 pixels. By default, it takes pixels as value. Okay, so I wrote 50 pixels. Now if I refresh, see, it added a space of 50 pixels over here. So this is what margin. Now let's say I want to give 50 pixels on the right. So it works in a clockwise direction. Top. So the way clock works, so top, then it goes, then the time goes to 3 p.m. So 3 on the 3 of 3 on the third digit. So then right, then 6 p.m. Oh, sorry, sixth digit, which is bottom, and then left, which is 9. Okay. So if I write 50 and 50 over here, it has shifted 50 pixels on the left. And if I write 50 pixels on the bottom and 50 pixels on the left, what will happen? It has added 50 pixels on top, left, bottom, and right. Okay. So this is what the margin is. Then comes the border part. What is this border part? So, okay, so let's see. First, let's add the border here. How we add the border? In order to add the border, we use CSS called border. In border, we need to give uh, the length, the width of the border. So what would be the width of border? Like how thick a border should be. So I'll start with 1 px. Then I need to give a property of it. So it can be a solid, it can be a black, it can be a dotted. Okay, so if I write solid over, let's start with solid, and let's give a color of green. Oh, background color was already green, so pink. Refresh. It's not visible. Let's give it blue. See? Okay, even if let's increase the border width to 10 px. See, there's a blue border coming on it. Okay, so how it works? First comes the margin, then comes the border. I have defined a border. Let's say I want to have a dot 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 border, so I'll write dotted. See, now dots are coming as a border. Let's finish the course, then we'll see the then we'll discuss about the assignment. Okay. Just a second. Okay. So this is the border of it. Okay. This is how it works. After that comes the padding. So padding is the space inside the box. So it's around your text but inside the box. Margin is external, which like margin separates you. So consider yourself in a room. Okay. So the distance between your room, so there are two rooms, let's say. The distance between two rooms are the margin. Okay. So if one room is here, second room is here. So distance between those two rooms are the margin. After that, the wall which comes in over here is the wall is the border, and then comes the space inside the room. What is the space inside the room? This is the padding, and then the element that can be you. Okay, so basically you are you are in the, let's say you are in the room, you are the element. Okay, the space inside your room is the padding, the walls are the border, and the space outside the room, yeah, is the margin. So let's say I want to increase the space inside the room. How can I do that? I'll say I'll add padding. So padding also works in a similar way like margin. So it's top, right, bottom, left. Okay. If I increase the padding, see, the room has increased because element is just there, but the room has become bigger now. It has increased the space of the room. So this is what the element is. So this is what the concept of spacing and border is. First comes the s- outside space, then comes the border, and then comes the inside space, and then comes the element. So that is how you implement the padding inside the room. Okay. So yeah, just a second. Okay, so this is the border and spacing. Okay, so but with this, our boot camp is over on HTML and CSS. Okay. Okay. So since everyone is talking about the assignment, yeah, assignment you can refer on the link, which is below this. Okay, below this video. You can refer the link over there. Yeah, as Nikhil said. Okay. Any question? Any doubts? Okay. So yeah, for the assignment, you refer the one link below the mark attendance option, and there's option to submit the assignment. Okay. Now, no, you submit your assignment in HTML and CSS format. Okay. So let's say I'll show you. Mm, So this is the this is the video link. Okay. In this video link, what you will do, you will see this assignment part. Assignment. You open the assignment thing, and mm, कल असाइनमेंट था नहीं, कल कोई असाइनमेंट नहीं था, आज का यही है बस. Okay, so let's say I want to give my email, which is love at info.com. Okay, so this is my email, and I give a password. Okay, wait, just a second. Let's try again. Assignment, enroll. So you enroll yourself. Let's enroll. Yeah. Okay. So over here, okay. So to for this, so over here you see the assignment, and below that you see view or submit assignment. Okay. So what you do your assignment, upload it on your GitHub, and you share your link over here. Okay. Yeah, you create a repository, a public repository, so that we can also see. And yeah, we'll assess accordingly. Okay. To center line. The center alignment part we will cover tomorrow in the Flexbox. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Let's start with Kahoot. So everyone, open the Kahoot.id. So share the link. KAHOOI Kahoot.id. Okay. Yeah. Open Kahoot.id and uh, enter this game pin, which is 7525481. Okay. So, in the basically in the assignment you have to create an HTML page and apply a generic CSS which we covered today. Basically, this CSS a property and align the text within it. Okay. You can skip the center alignment part, but you have to put that in it. Okay. So everyone join this Kahoot.id. Let's wait till 7:30 and then we will start the quiz. Okay. So can you please change the setting in Kahoot to put a question to all players? No, actually we can't do that. This question is from the backend side. This question is from the backend side, and I can't change this type of question thing. Okay. Okay, 1 minute to go. Please hurry up, join up, and we'll start at 7:30 sharp. On Kahoot.it. Kahoot.it. Um, Camera, okay. Just a second, let me check. Okay, it's better now, right? So when you will see on the you can see the deadline of this portal. Okay. Okay. So shall we start? Okay, let's start. So the question one is HTML and CSS essential bootcamp. So the question one is, hmm, what does CSS stand for? So the question 2 is, which type of CSS is applied directly within an HTML? Okay, the way is coming first. Okay, so the third question is, how do you link an external CSS file to an HTML file? So which property is used to specify the color of text in CSS? Question is not visible, it is visible. Okay, next question is, how can you select an element with a specific ID in CSS? I am repeating the question, you can do that. Next question is, which property is used to control the space outside the border of an element? It must be on net then, because it is visible to other people. Next question is, which property is used to control the space between the content and the border of an element? How can you apply a border to all four sides of an element at once? Ninth question is, which property is used to specify the width of a border in CSS? And the last question is, which property is used to specify the style of border in CSS? So the quiz is over. So the third prize goes to Rubesh. Second prize goes to Likhithand. And the first prize goes to Puneet. Congratulations. Uh, Kindly share your emails so that we can send the coupons on your respected emails. I understand it's lagging and questions are not visible, but what can, like, it's probably into 100 because there are more than 200 people giving the test. So there must be some problem with your internet, I guess. Okay. So please share your emails. Puneet, Likhi Thamt 2003, and Rubesh. Winners, please share your email. Otherwise, we have to go for fourth, fifth, and sixth positions. Puneet, Likhi Thamt, and Rubeshi. Winners, please share your email. Yeah, assignment is mandatory. Puneet, please share your email. Okay, so if winners are not sending it, I am ending the session. You can see the deadline of the assignment in your portal only. have not. Okay, then we are stopping the session now. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Hey, hi everyone. So my name is Sai Kiran and I'm the founder and CEO of LetsUpgrade, and I'm having some amazing news for every one of you. LetsUpgrade, in collaboration with ITM Skills University, is launching the first B.Tech CSE program that we love to share with you all, guys. 6 features. Number 1, 100% job guarantee to all the students joining this particular program with minimum 8 LPA. Number 2, 1 year paid internship in product/MNC companies. Number 3, taught by real developers working in the industry in top companies. Number 4, amazing campus, a campus which is like we work in Mumbai that we are building for you all, guys. Number 5, build lots of projects which are like real world applications, highly scalable applications from Hotstar to Zoom to your own Zomato. Number 6, you are gonna love the community collaborations that we guys have done. We are collaborating with 13 plus tech communities to give you the same environment what IITs and NITs have. Meet lots of industry people, participate in hackathons and meetups to understand what is running in the industry. That's what these are the 6 features which we have. You can check out the program on our website, that is isu.ac.in. Check out B.Tech there, you will find it. That's it, guys. Bye bye.